Have you ever walked out of a salon with a brand new bob, but instead of feeling confident, you just felt off? Maybe your face looked rounder than you expected, or your jawline seemed to disappear. Or perhaps you glanced in the mirror and thought, this just isn't me. You're not alone. After 30 years behind the chair, I can tell you, the problem often isn't the bob itself. It's the wrong bob for your face shape and hair texture. And today, we're going to fix that. I'll show you exactly how to choose a bob hairstyle that works with your features, not against them. One that gives you more lift, better balance, and that fresh, youthful feeling we all want when we leave the salon. And don't worry, this isn't about memorizing a million rules. By the end of this video, you'll understand a few simple patterns that make all the difference. Whether your face is full or long, your hair is curly or straight, thick or thin. I'll also show you what to ask your stylist, so you never walk out with a haircut that doesn't feel like you again. So grab a mirror, take a deep breath, and let's find the bob that brings out your best. Let's start with one of the most common struggles, a full or round face paired with fine, straight hair. This combination needs a little help creating length, not just in the hair, but in how your face is perceived. The biggest mistake, a bob that stops right at the chin. Why? Because when the line of your hair ends at your widest point, your cheeks or jaw, it emphasizes roundness. So what should you do instead? First, keep your bob just below the chin. That little bit of extra length draws the eye downward, visually elongating the face and creating a slimmer look. Next, bevel the nape. A soft inward curve at the back helps your hair hug the neck, adding subtle shape and softness. This is especially helpful if your hair tends to fall flat. What about bangs? Yes, but with rules. Avoid blunt, horizontal bangs. They can make the face appear even wider. Instead, choose soft, side-swept bangs that blend into the layers. They help frame the face, draw attention upward, and soften the overall shape. And finally, don't skip volume. Fine hair can fall limp, and a flat crown will undo all the good your longer bob is doing. So use a bit of root-lifting product, or ask your stylist for light layering at the crown. The goal here is harmony. Longer lines that slim the face, subtle layers that add life, and soft shaping that flatters without overwhelming. Coming up next, we'll talk about how to adjust your bob if you have a long or narrow face. That's a different game with different goals. So let's keep going. Now, let's talk about something that often gets overlooked. A long or narrow face paired with fine, straight hair. It's a combination that brings unique challenges, but also great potential. If this is your face shape, your main goal is to add width. We're not trying to elongate the face further. Instead, we want to create the illusion of balance and soft fullness. Here's where many women go wrong. They choose a bob that's too long, thinking more length means more elegance. But for a long face, too much length just pulls the eye downward, making the face seem even longer and leaner than it is. Step 1. Choose a bob that sits at or just above the chin. Bringing the length up to chin level breaks up the vertical line of the face. It helps your features feel more centered and approachable. Don't go too short, but just enough to anchor the eye higher. Step 2. Bevel at the nape. Even with fine, straight hair, a bit of curvature in the nape gives shape and structure. It lifts the hair ever so slightly at the back, preventing that flat helmet look. A slight inward bend is all you need. It adds just enough dimension without volume overload. Step 3. Add light layering at the crown. You don't need dramatic layers here, but a little texture helps. Fine straight hair tends to lie flat against the scalp, so soft crown layers lift the root and create rounded volume at the top. Why does this matter? Because when you create volume up top, it counterbalances the longer length of your face, bringing a sense of lift and energy. Step 4. Bangs are your best friend, and not just any bangs. The ideal choice here, fuller bangs, hitting right around the eyebrow line. This horizontal line visually shortens the face and draws attention to the eyes. If you prefer something softer, curtain bangs also work beautifully, but make sure they're not too wispy or too long. We're aiming to frame, not fade. Step 5. Subtle layering around the face. A few layers that fall just past the cheekbones can soften long lines and add gentle width. Avoid anything too sharp or angled downward. Those shapes can elongate the face even more. And one last thing. Avoid styles that taper dramatically toward the front. It might look sleek, but it pulls everything down visually, which is the opposite of what we want here. The overall formula: chin length or just above, soft layers at the crown, fuller bangs at the brow, rounded volume, not length, face framing that widens, not narrows. This isn't about changing your face. It's about celebrating your natural shape and using hair to enhance balance and confidence. Coming up next, we're diving into curly hair and how it behaves completely differently, especially when paired with a round face. Stay with me, this is where things start to get really interesting. All right, now we're stepping into a whole new category: a full face with naturally curly hair. This combo brings its own set of rules. Why? Because curly hair has volume built in, and sometimes too much of it in the wrong places. If your face is round or square, your goal is to create vertical movement and take the focus away from the width of the cheeks or jawline. But here's the trap many fall into. They cut their curls too short or too even around the face. What happens then? You get that classic triangle shape, wide at the cheeks, narrow at the top. That's the exact opposite of what we want. So how do we fix it? Step 1. Keep the length longer than the chin. This is key. When curls hit right at the jawline, they balloon out, making the face look even wider. But when you extend just below the chin, it helps elongate the face and gives the curls room to soften and fall. Step 2. Layering is non-negotiable. You absolutely need strategic layering with curly hair. Focus on removing bulk from the sides, especially the area just below the cheeks. This stops the hair from pushing out horizontally and making the face look rounder. At the same time, add volume at the crown or top. This lifts the overall shape upward, guiding the eye vertically rather than side to side. Step 4. Choose bangs carefully. You can absolutely wear bangs with curly hair, but they have to be done right. Avoid heavy, blunt bangs. They sit like a block on the forehead and make the face feel boxed in. Instead, go for soft, airy fringe. Something lightly swept or feathered that breaks up the shape without adding bulk. Even better, curtain bangs or curly wisps that blend into the sides. They help soften the face, highlight the eyes, and create movement across the top half of your face. Step 5. Define your curls, but don't fight them. Curly hair has personality. Let it live, but guide it. Use light products that help you define the shape without stiffening the curls. The goal is bounce and flow, not stiffness or volume overload. Let's recap the perfect curly bob for a full face. Length just below the chin. Strong layering to remove bulk from the sides. Lift at the top to guide the eye upward. Soft bangs or fringe blended into the sides. Beveled nape for shape and movement. And the most important thing: let your curls do the talking. Just help them say the right thing. With the right structure, your curly bob won't just flatter your face, it will become your signature. Coming up next, what happens when your face is long and your hair is curly? It's a whole different challenge, and I'll show you exactly how to master it. Now let's move into one of the trickier combinations: a long face shape with curly hair. You might think having curls naturally adds fullness, and that's partly true. But fullness in the wrong areas can make a long face look even longer, or worse, completely overwhelm your features. So our goal here is balance. We want to soften vertical lines without making the hair too wide or bulky. Let's walk through how to make that happen. Step 1. Keep the length near the chin or slightly longer. Why? Because chin-level curls add horizontal dimension, and that's exactly what we need to soften a long face. If your hair falls too far below the chin, the eye keeps traveling down, making your face appear even more elongated. But if the curls stop right around the jawline, they create a visual anchor. They widen the midface, and that's what brings harmony. Step 2. Layering, yes, but gently. Unlike a round face where we need to aggressively remove bulk from the sides, a long face can handle a little bit of fullness at the cheeks. So we still want layers, but not extreme ones. A few well-placed layers on top can give you some lift at the crown. At the same time, leaving a touch of volume on the sides is actually helpful. Think of it like sculpting a silhouette. You want the shape to fill in the middle third of your face without overwhelming it. Step 3. The nape area still matters. Beveling the hair at the nape keeps the bob from getting too bottom-heavy. Especially with curls, that tapering helps maintain a clean shape so the volume stays controlled. Step 4. Bangs, absolutely. And here's the trick. Longer, fuller bangs can do wonders for a long face. You can go for curly curtain bangs that hit around the brow bone, or even a soft parted fringe that frames the top of your face and draws attention to your eyes. What you want to avoid are very short bangs or ones that sit too high on the forehead. They'll make the face appear even longer. If you go with heavier bangs, consider keeping the front length of your bob slightly longer. This keeps the overall shape grounded and prevents visual top heaviness. Step 5. Embrace softness, avoid sharp lines. For curly hair and a long face, everything should flow, no blunt edges. No boxy silhouettes. You want a soft, almost sculptural bob that moves naturally and enhances the roundness where you need it. Let's review the essentials for a curly bob on a long face. Length, right at the chin or slightly below, gentle layering. Enough for lift, not too much bulk removal. Fuller sides, yes, really, to widen the face subtly. Beveled nape for a clean, balanced outline. Bangs that land near the brows. Framing, not shortening. This kind of bob gives you the best of both worlds, the softness of curls and the structure that balances a longer face. Done right, it feels effortless, but intentional. And that's the kind of beauty that lasts. Up next, we'll explore how to work with thick, straight hair, a very different texture with a bold presence. It comes with both power and pitfalls. Let's tackle that next. If you've got a full or round face and your hair is medium to thick in texture and naturally straight, you're working with a lot of density and structure. And that's both a blessing and a challenge. The blessing is that you have the weight and volume to create beautiful shape. But the challenge is that if that shape isn't carefully controlled, your hair can end up emphasizing the very areas you want to soften. So let's talk about what works. Step 1. Go longer than the chin by at least a couple of inches. For round or square faces, we want to pull the eye downward slightly to create the illusion of length. If you cut your bob at chin level, especially with thick, straight hair, it tends to puff out right where your face is widest. That creates a boxy, heavy look. By going just a little longer, say to the collarbone or slightly above, you soften that effect and stretch the silhouette visually. Step 2. Get serious about layering. This is not the time for caution. Thick hair tends to collect volume on the sides, which can make a round face look even rounder. So we want generous layering through the sides and underneath. The goal is to remove bulk, not shorten the shape, but lighten the weight. Especially near the cheeks and jawline, layers help your hair curve inward instead of ballooning out. Step 3. Layering at the top is just as important. If the top lies flat and the sides are full, you'll end up with a mushroom effect. Flat on top, round on the bottom. So add some height. Ask your stylist for crown layering or a bit of texturizing up high to create volume where it lifts the eye. This draws attention upward, away from the width of the face. Step 4. Add shape at the nape. Beveling or stacking at the back helps the entire cut feel intentional and clean. Otherwise, thick, straight hair can fall flat and heavy. By tapering in at the nape, you create flow and direction, so the hair frames your neck and shoulders rather than swallowing them. Step 5. Bangs? Yes, but with purpose. Straight, thick hair can handle bangs, but you need to shape them thoughtfully. Avoid anything heavy and blunt across the forehead. It will box your face in. Instead, opt for angled side bangs, a curtain fringe, or a soft, scooped shape that blends into the layers. The right bangs will break up the roundness, highlight your eyes, and help lead the face into the rest of the style. So what's the full formula? Length longer than the chin, ideally past it. Strong layering to remove bulk on the sides. Lift at the crown to avoid flatness. Beveled nape for polish and shape. Bangs that add structure without closing off the face. And here's a key mindset shift. Thick hair doesn't need to be cut off to feel lighter. It just needs to be sculpted. With the right cut, your thick, straight bob won't just complement your face. It'll make you feel like your best self every single day. Next, we'll explore the final texture. Thick or medium curly hair with a long face. This one is subtle, but it's beautiful when done right. Now we've arrived at one of the most expressive and dynamic combinations, A long face with medium to thick curly hair. It's a texture full of movement and personality. But if the shape isn't cut with intention, it can overwhelm your features fast. The challenge here is balance. Curly hair naturally adds volume, while a long face needs width more than length. So, if we don't shape it right, we risk creating a style that looks bottom-heavy, overly triangular, or just plain too much. Let's break down how to make it work beautifully. Step 1. Choose a length near the chin or just a touch longer. You don't need to go super short, but keeping the bob around the jawline helps widen the center of the face, exactly where you need it. If you go too long, especially with thick curls, the eye is pulled downward, making the face feel longer and narrower. But with chin-length curls, you create a natural frame that balances everything out. Step 2. Layer thoughtfully. Yes, even with curly hair. Some people fear layering curly hair because they think it'll puff out. But the truth is, without layering, curly hair becomes bulky and shapeless, especially on the sides. For a long face, you actually want some width, but it has to be controlled. So the goal is this: light layering at the crown for lift, a little bulk retained on the sides for width, and soft tapering at the nape to avoid a bell or triangle shape. The right layering will give you volume where it helps, and softness where you need control. Step 3. Bangs? Yes, and you have options. If you want to visually shorten a long face, consider longer curly bangs that hit near the brows. This creates a strong horizontal line and brings attention to your eyes. They can be full, soft curtain bangs or even a rounded curly fringe. The key is, avoid super short bangs that expose too much forehead. They exaggerate length. Also, if you choose fuller bangs, balance them with slightly longer front pieces so your face doesn't feel top-heavy. Step 4. Don't overlayer the sides. Yes, we're layering, but not aggressively. You want to retain some bulk on the sides to create that visual width. This helps balance the long vertical lines of your face. If you take out too much weight, especially with thick curls, your cut can become too narrow and the shape falls apart. So instead, lighten the hair subtly while keeping the fullness just below the cheekbones. Step 5. Finish with shape, not bulk. The trick to making this work is sculpting the hair to flow along your natural lines. Curls should feel intentional, not wild. Use light curl-defining products to enhance structure and let the shape do the talking. The blueprint for success? Chin length or slightly longer. Controlled layering. Lift at the crown, fullness on the sides. Beveled nape for shape and flow. Bangs that land near the brows. Volume that's wide, not low. And most of all, respect the curl, but lead it. Curly hair wants to move. Your job is to guide that movement so it flatters your face. When done right, this bob feels soft, fresh, and absolutely alive, just like you. Coming up next, we'll wrap everything together. I'll show you how to take all of these tips and turn them into a simple, confident decision at your next salon visit. Let's tie it all together. By now, you've probably realized the bob haircut isn't just one look. It's a category of styles, and when shaped correctly, it can do amazing things for your face and your confidence. But here's the secret most people miss. It's not about chasing the trend. It's about choosing a shape that works with your natural features. So let's break it down into 3 simple steps you can take with you. Step 1. Identify your face shape. Is your face more full, round, or square? Or is it longer, like oval, rectangular, or oblong? Knowing this helps you decide whether your haircut should create length to slim or width to balance. Step 2. Understand your hair texture. Is your hair thin or thick? Straight or curly? Light and wispy or dense and full? Each texture responds differently to layering, volume, and length, so the way you shape your bob should match what your hair naturally wants to do. Step 3. Combine what you know. Now match your face shape with your texture and apply the structure we've walked through. Full face? Keep your bob longer than the chin. Add vertical lines, remove bulk from the sides, long face. Bring the length up to the chin. Add bangs, gentle layering, and a little fullness on the sides, curly hair. Respect the shape. Guide it with layers. Don't flatten or fight it. Straight, thick hair. Remove volume strategically and create shape that frames your features, not hides them. The goal isn't to copy someone else's haircut. It's to find the bob that brings out your best features and feels like you. And remember, this is a collaboration with your stylist. Bring photos. Explain your goals. Don't just ask for a bob. Ask for a bob that fits your face, your hair, and your lifestyle. When you do that, you'll leave the salon not just with a new look, but with a renewed sense of confidence. Because the right haircut doesn't just change how you look, it changes how you carry yourself. And that, my friend, is the real power of a great bob.